Okay, let's begin. How should I say? Okay, for creative writing class, as I told you in the previous meeting, that the outcome, the product of our creative writing class is that we aim to publish or produce the anthology of either poems or short story. And previously, we were thinking of having a drama anthology, but for some consideration, I think it will belong to drama class later. Even though in drama class in the seventh semester, the focus is not producing the drama script, but the aim is to be able to perform and understand the the popular drama, right? So just to just to be specific, in this creative writing class, we will just focus on short story writing, which will be compiled and then will be published in the form of anthology of a short story, and then the poems. Okay, so Bu Fini and I um, think about um, work collaboratively, so that we will split. Bu Fini will handle the short story anthology. Meanwhile, I will handle the poems anthology. But in the process, because I am responsible for your class, and I have checked in our group, there's supposed to be 12 students. Therefore, instead of splitting you to produce either short story or poems, I think it will be better for every of you to produce both, with the consideration of having with the consideration that every of you have the experience of writing both short story and poems. Okay, so let's talk about what we need to know, or what we need to pay attention at when we are about to write, especially in creative writing. So it's going to be different from academic writing, you were which you have been trained, I think I can say, or you have been being trained for pretty long period of time, since the beginning of the semester, and then of course in the end of in the end of the life in university, in bachelor degree, you will be for sure producing the academic writing, that is a thesis or scriptsy, you say, right? And then in this creative writing class, we will produce the creative writing class, I mean the creative writing instead of the academic writing, which many people think creative writing is pretty easy to produce. Yeah, let's see later, when let us compare when you read the academic text and when you read the fiction or novel. Which one do you think is easier for you? Reading academic text or reading fiction? Which one do you think easier? You may answer. Every of you hear me, right? I mean, listened, right? So if you were faced, or if you, I know you, I repeat my question. I know every of you have already read both fiction text and academic text, right? So the academic text, for example, journal article, you know, the textbook of phonetic and phonology or morphology book, or yeah, just those academic things, right? And then you, I'm sure you also have read a bunch of fiction, like novel, like short story, or any fiction text. So, according to your experience, which one do you think is easier in the matter of understanding, and which one is pleasurable, you know, to read? Is it academic text or fiction text? What do you think?
Fiction text maybe, ma'am.
Yeah, fiction text. So tell me, why do you think fiction text is easier to read, easier to understand compared to academic text? Why? Why do you think it's easier to read? Let's say we read both in English, right? So why do you still think the fiction one is easier?
Because I think in fiction, the language is easy to understand.
Okay. Okay. And other opinion? What about the other?
If we are read fiction, is not make boring, ma'am.
Yeah, it's not a boring text, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. What else? Any other idea? Why do you prefer fiction text compared to, you know, academic text? Stefanus said fiction text is less boring or more interesting, I can say, right? Uh, yeah. What about the other? Do you have another opinion? Or maybe you can answer, why do you think fiction text is less boring? Why do you think it's more interesting? Like why? What is there in fiction text, and what is there in academic text, so that you say, this one is more interesting? Okay, well, let's go to the example. What story or what fiction text have you ever read? In bahasa is okay. In, just throw me a title. Any of you read Laskar Pelangi? Read, okay. Any of you read Supernova or Terelie? I don't know. What do you read? Or do you read? Huh? Tell me. Okay, well, to begin with, have you ever read a whole novel, even one? Pernah nggak sih baca novel atau cerita pendek sampai selesai? Bahasa apapun ya, terserah. Pernah nggak?
Yes, ma'am.
Iya, yes. Apa judulnya?
Malin Kundang, ma'am. It's include or not?
Okay, Maling Kundang. So it means it's a folklore, right? Ada lagi? Buku cerita paling tebal yang pernah kamu baca apa? No, what about the other? Kan kita belum bisa beranjak ke nulis nih kalau kita belum pernah membaca gitu ya. You know, because writing is actually the next step after you read, right? You will write way better if you have the experience of reading, right? Do you agree? Right?
Yes,
Ya.
ma'am.
Ya. Bagaimana yang lainnya? Buku cerita apa sih? What is the creative writing product that you have ever read? Julius Haribob pernah baca apa?
Belum pernah, Mem.
Belum pernah. Ririn?
Pernah, Mem. Tapi kalau baca itu sampai habis belum selesai gitu. Baca novel lain gitu belum selesai gitu.
Oke. Ada lagi?
Hujan, Mem.
Hujan? Selesai nggak baca Hujan Terelie ya?
Iya, Mem. Enggak, Mem. Belum selesai.
Belum selesai. Yang lain ada nggak? Just say, Mem, saya pernah baca novel apa sampai selesai gitu. Ada nggak?
Kalau sampai selesai sepertinya belum, Mem.
Oh,
Tapi
gitu.
kalau baca setengah ada.
Apa? Apa?
Kemarin ada baca Harry Potter, tapi belum selesai, Mem.
Maksudnya belum selesai dari buku 1 sampai buku 6 atau belum selesai satu buku?
Belum selesai satu buku.
Oh, belum selesai satu buku. Jadi, so all in all, if I conclude that none of you ever finish the whole book, so I'm right or wrong? Kalau saya simpulkan dari jawaban kalian tadi, berarti belum ada di antara kalian yang pernah membaca sampai selesai satu buah buku cerita gitu ya. Saya betul kah?
Yes, Mem.
Okay. So, as I said previously that you will not be able to produce a good writing if you never read, ya kan? Kan sekarang contohnya gini, kamu mau bikin kue, kalian mau bikin kue tar, ya kan? Tapi kalian sendiri nggak pernah makan kue tar, so how could you judge that your kue tar will be a nice one, right? What does it mean? You have to try eating cake before you make it. Why? In order to understand the standard of the taste of what so-called good tart or bad tart, right? Jadi, apakah apakah memakan satu jenis kue tart itu membuat kita tahu rasa kue tar? Ya, tahu satu rasa kue tar. Tapi ketika kita membandingkan kue tar yang A, yang B, yang C, oh ini dibuat di bakery ini, oh yang ini buat bakery ini. So you have the experience of eating a lot of kue tar from different bakery, for example. Then what happened? You will know which kue tar is tastier, right? Ya kan? Kamu bisa membandingkan kue tar yang mana yang enak kan ketika kamu membandingkan kan? Nggak usah beli yang di Gajah Mada, enak beli yang di Ampera aja, kuenya lebih enak kayak gitu. Dari mana kamu tahu yang di Ampera lebih enak? Karena kamu telah membandingkannya dengan yang di Gajah Mada atau yang di mana. Sama juga dengan menulis. Kalau kamu nggak pernah membaca, dari mana kamu tahu tulisanmu akan enak dibaca, ya kan? Sedangkan kamu sendiri nggak tahu. Kalau kayak kue tar tadi, kamu tuh nggak tahu pengalaman membaca itu nikmatnya di mana, enaknya ya, bagusnya kayak apa, jeleknya kayak apa, gitu kan. For that case, I will not blame you for not having the experience of reading. It really makes sense karena apa sih namanya, literasi kita, maksudnya tuh kemauan kita membaca, jangankan buku pelajaran ya, buku cerita aja itu sangat rendah kayak gitu. Jadi I won't blame you, but it doesn't mean I tolerate you don't read, okay? Jadi sebelum kita masuk pada creative writing, saya mau kalian temukan satu novel dan baca sampai selesai, gitu ya. Baca. Jangan, well, it's your choice, right? Mau membaca atau tidak, itu kan terus pilihan kan? Karena sekalipun saya ngotot harus baca, dan kalian nggak baca ya what can I say, gitu kan? Nah, maksud saya adalah kalian baca satu buah novel, kemudian selesaikan. Nah, baru nanti kita beranjak gitu ya. Karena sebelum kita beranjak menulis, kita akan membahas dulu. Kalau baca cerita tuh yang bikin senang tuh apa sih? Ini contoh ya, contoh. Saya tuh senang sekali membaca cerita-ceritanya tulisan Andrea Hirata. Kenapa? Karena ketika membacanya saya tuh rasanya di kampung gitu loh. Tokoh-tokoh orang Melayu yang kampungan itu benar-benar nyata sekali di mata saya rasanya, walaupun itu di Belitung, walaupun saya tinggal di Kalimantan, tapi I can feel it, you know. Dari mana saya dapat merasakannya? I can feel because Andrea Hirata use, you know, the figurative language, majas-majas yang so Melayu kayak gitu ya. Jadi dalam sebuah cerita, narasi itu tidak semata-mata yang maksudnya narasi itu jalan cerita ya. Oh, habis ini begini, habis gitu. Itu narasi, jalan timeline. It's not the only thing that you have to think about. But the way you describe a place, you know, the way you describe the feeling of the character. Kalau misalnya karakternya patah hati, kalian menjelaskan betapa patah hatinya dia itu kan dijelaskan dengan majas gitu, misalnya I don't know, misalnya hatinya disambar geledek misalnya kayak gitu, atau apa. So kan ada majasnya ya, hatinya hancur berkeping-keping, itu kan majas hyperbole kan ya. Mana ada hati hancur berkeping-keping, mati lanuan kan. So the way you say it gitu kan ya, bilang hatinya hancur berkeping-keping, itu kan implementasi dari majas hyperbole kayak gitu, yang berlebih-lebihan kayak gitu. Jadi penggunaan, so what makes a story is powerful is not only because of the narration, the timeline of the story, but the way the author implement the language. Nah, jadi untuk mampu mengimplementasikan bahasa-bahasa yang figurative, bahasa-bahasa yang bermajas-majas, bahasa-bahasa uh, yang menggerakkan hati pembaca itu tuh step awalnya memang kita harus membaca biar kita setidaknya punya pengalaman gitu loh. Pengalaman hatinya diopiak-opiak dulu sama pembaca lain gitu. Jadi ketika kita menulis, we know what we have to do, right? Jadi jam terbang membaca yang tinggi itu sangat membantu untuk menulis yang baik. Bahkan yang membacanya banyak aja tuh belum tentu mampu memproduksi gitu ya. Because creative writing is another level, the excellent creative writing needs patience, needs feeling, it's just too much. It's not just put the word, you know what I mean. Nah, jadi sebelum kita masuk pada menulis puisi atau menulis short story tadi, saya minta kalian membaca satu buah cerita gitu ya, satu buah cerita. Nggak harus habis 1 minggu ini. I will give you sometimes like 1 month, but baca gitu ya. Bahasa Indonesia boleh kayak gitu, karena walaupun ketika kita menulis karya dalam bahasa Inggris, kecenderungannya kita memakai figurative language in English way kayak gitu. Misalnya mau bilang, wah aku rasanya terbang ke langit ke-7 kayak gitu. Itu orang Indonesia. Kalau orang Inggris kan nggak bilangnya I feel like I fly in the 7th sky. No, it's not that way, right? You will say I feel like I am in the 9th cloud kayak gitu. Jadi langit ke-7-nya kata kita, bahasa Inggrisnya itu 9 cloud kayak gitu ya. Tapi ada yang berpendapat bahwa English is no longer belonging to just native speaker. You can explore your mother tongue because something in this certain area doesn't exist in England. Kayak gitu. Kayak misalnya kita bilang, misalnya kalian nanti menulis tentang kisah yang terjadi di Kalimantan kayak gitu. Pengandaiannya. Ya. Aku bagaikan mendapat durian runtuh. Untuk bilang aku dapat ketiban rezeki gitu ya. Orang Inggris tuh nggak tahu durian runtuh. Durian runtuh tuh bukan rezeki. Durian runtuh tuh petaka. Enak kali kena durian runtuh mah nggak rezeki. Mungkin gitu ya kata orang Inggris. Number 1, they don't like durian. Number 2, keruntuhan durian itu doesn't have any sense, kedapatan rezeki. Kita aja yang bilang kedapatan rezeki. Tapi what I want to emphasize is that in this creative writing class, I allow you to use the local expression that you're gonna translate in English. Because why? Because there is a theory saying that English does not belong only to the native speaker. It belongs to everyone who speak English with different background. So I want to let you produce your writing with your own taste, dengan cita rasamu sendiri. So it's okay. Jadi kalau misalnya nanti mau bilang flying in the 7th sky, it's okay. But maybe we need to think about bahasa Inggrisnya kayak mana sih kayak gitu. That's why when we write, we have the process that's so-called revision, editing. You know why? So that we improve, because it's not one time finish job, menulis itu kan nggak one time finish gitu ya. So ada editnya, ada apa, especially untuk di creative writing ini we expect writing in English, right? So many things to consider. Nah, okay, so go back to the first thing. karena kita mau nulis short story ya. Jadi kalian saya minta mencari satu novel bahasa Indonesia yang kalian suka. Kalau saya merekomendasikannya itu membaca Andrea Hirata, tapi kan nggak fair ya. Kalau saya suka kan belum tentu kalian suka. Tapi ceritanya Andrea Hirata itu benar-benar Melayu banget loh. Cinta dalam gelas sama apa lagi? Dia kan ada tetraloginya kan Laskar Pelangi. Terus tuh apa lagi tuh yang kedua tuh yang main ya kalau di film kan tuh yang main si Ariel itu loh. Aduh saya lupa judulnya. Bukan Edensor Dedi, yang ketiga Edensor tuh. Yang kedua Pejuang, apa sih? Sang Pemimpi. Laskar Pelangi, Sang Pemimpi, Edensor, yang terakhir kan Mariamah Karpov ya. Nah, itu yang tetraloginya. So I recommend you to read, walaupun saya personally kurang suka yang Mariamah Karpov karena menurut saya agak out of story. I like Edensor so much. And I like Laskar Pelangi so much too. Dan juga ada cerita itu duologinya Cinta dalam Gelas sama Padang Ilalang kah ya, saya lupa. Itu juga bagus. Maksudnya tuh bagus dalam segi penggunaan bahasanya gitu ya. So Malay, you know, you feel like it's just you will feel like Andrea Hirata is your neighbor, you know, so close to you when you when you read the story, right? Ya. Saya rekomen itu. Terelie juga banyak penggemarnya dan saya bukan salah satunya. Kemudian my favorite, like the most favorite one itu Pramudia Anantatur, Bumi Manusia itu, dan tetraloginya Bumi Manusia. Terus tuh apalagi yang keduanya tuh Anak Semua Bangsa. Terus tuh ada 4 itu Rumah Kaca. Yang terakhir itu Rumah Kaca. Apa nggak salah saya ada 4. Jadi cerita itu bagus sekali. You know what is a good story? You become so emotional. I remember when I read Bumi Manusia itu ya, ketika saya membaca novelnya. Sedang membaca itu, novel itu saya lempar loh. I was like, I read it like this, and I was so emotional, and I just I throw because my heart just hurt, and it's too much kayak gitu. So in that level, it means the author, the writer of the story has successfully, you know, playing with the language, you know. It's powerful. Yang udah saya lempar, ibu saya bilang, apa kau nih? Gila kah apa? Tiba-tiba melempar buku kayak gitu kan ya. Terus saya marah, saya bilang, saya itu geram, saya bilang. Itu saya bilang siapa di dalam itu? Tuan siapa kayak gitu saya cerita gitu kan di dalam itu. Dan my mom just say like just nonsense, something like that. But you know, it's you feel it when you read it. Yeah. So I want you to find your book and then start reading, because once again I want to say ikra, ikra, ikra. And then setelah itu nanti saya akan minta kalian baca satu cerita yang dalam bahasa Inggris. It's short story and it's a good story. I know like it's simple story but it's tricky. Nggak terlalu panjang, tapi dalam bahasa Inggris itu yang nulisnya Kek Chopang kalau nggak salah saya. The Story of an Hour. Ya, cerita 1 jam judulnya. Nanti saya share udah pada masuk grup itu kan? Nanti saya bagi ceritanya, kalian baca short story-nya, dan short story yang itu harus selesai. Minggu depan kita akan bahas gitu. Saya akan tanya your feeling, your point of view, the use of language, in what way you like it, you know, you read it. Hanya satu short story dulu. Kenapa? Biar kalian ada experience dulu membaca short story dalam bahasa Inggris. Jadi ingat ya, what you have to do is two things first before we go to writing production. Yang pertama, cari satu novel untuk kalian baca dan selesaikan. Kalau tadi ada yang telah berjalan setengah, itu boleh dilanjutkan untuk selesaikan. You know, like Lord of the Ring is really really awesome. Terus tuh apa lagi ya? Kalau mau yang klasik juga boleh. Atau kalian kan ngambil mata kuliah Introduction to Literature kan? Nah, itu kan boleh juga dibaca novel yang era mana kayak gitu. Dan saya nggak terlalu merekomendasikan membaca Macbeth atau Othello yang punyanya Shakespeare gitu ya, karena it's pretty heavy in the matter of language dan terlalu tua, bukan terlalu tua. Novel itu diproduksi kan tahun 1500-an, jadi kan language kan berubah. So you might be hard to understand the language, right? Jadi boleh pilih cerita yang agak modern, misalnya apa ya tulisannya si Kate Chopin lumayan modern. Toni Morrison itu yang kemarin baru meninggal itu dia nulis Beloved, itu juga boleh dibaca kalau mau baca bahasa Inggrisnya yang novel gitu. Tapi ya kalau saya ya mau bilang kalian harus baca Bumi Manusia karena film yang dimainkan sama Iqbal itu kalian you get nothing, you know. You got to read the book because you will know how is it like to be Indonesian before Independent Day gitu. Zamannya kolonial, kamu tuh bisa merasakan kesalan hati bumi manusia Indonesia pada zaman itu. So I really recommend you to read it. Oke, sampai sini ada pertanyaan? Tahu kan apa yang harus dikerjakan sebelum kita menulis?
Yes, ma'am.
Ya, apa itu? Satu, baca short story, nanti saya kirimkan short story-nya yang bahasa Inggris. Yang satu, baca novel yang dalam bahasa Indonesia. Oke. And try to enjoy it. You know, jangan pikir, aduh tugas susah kan aku harus baca novel. Jangan berasa kena hukum gitu loh. You know, one day after you finish one novel, you want to finish another 2, another 3, another 4, and then after that you want to say, can I live just reading novel? Ya, memang yang pertama itu susah gitu. Maksudnya karena kan huruf per huruf, kata per kata, per paragraf, per halaman, per ratus-ratus halaman. But when you finish it, you feel like, oh, I want more. Kayak gitu. Yeah, so now learn to fall in love with reading. Okay? Any question? Any question?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, because it's very clear.
Okay, good. If there is no question, so you are a good student. Okay, if there is no question, let's call it the day and then find your novel because I will make the pause and I will ask you what novel you will